G'day guys and gal! Matt Ward did a lot of questionable things. He ruined the Ultramarines by ironically trying to make them the best, he gave us large portions of the Warhammer End Times lore, and he seemingly refused to ever shower or shave his neck. However, there is one thing he added to Warhammer which is actually pretty bloody great. Traynz the Infinite. Or at least I think that's how you say his name. It's kinda hard for me to nail pronunciation sometimes due to living in a prison colony, as well as the fact that I have to read these names, not hear them, to determine how to say them. You get me? Good. A gem in a mountain of Shizen, Traynz is a character so fun and interesting that you forget he is a soulless robot, a being who only seeks to expand his Pokédex. He is the definition of chaotic neutral. His lust to continue to grow his ever-expanding collection of goodies has resulted in him saving billions and dooming billions. It's really case by case. If something he wants is trapped behind a Tyranid Hive fleet, then say goodbye to that Hive fleet. If it's on a Space Marine planet, then say goodbye to that chapter. Unless it's the Salamanders. More on that later. Before we get started, tomorrow, or maybe today depending on your time zone, is my birthday. Woo! To celebrate that, I'm doing a Dawn of War Ultimate Apocalypse stream with Voldemort's Guide to Warhammer, Great Book of Grudges, as well as Venrus, the creator of the famous SFO mod for Total War Warhammer 2. We'll just be having fun and throwing titans at each other for a couple hours, so get down and celebrate me turning the big 2-2. Nobody actually cares about your 22nd birthday, but stuff it. Stream will start at 6 AM Australian time, 4 PM Eastern Standard Time, or 9 PM London time. Hope to see you there. Today we'll go over the life of 40k's Ash Ketchum and what he has in his vast collection. Whilst I'd love to play the Pokemon theme song over the rest of this video, it's disgustingly copyrighted. But if you stay till the end of the video, you might get to see me create a Necron rendition of it. Let's get into it. Like most Necrons, Traynz was forced into the biotransferation machines that stole his soul and freedom, turning him into a Necron. Interestingly enough, however, Traynz mentions that he was forced into it while chained up, meaning that most Necrons actually didn't want to become a Catan snack, or Traynz had a unique resistance to the idea. When the Catans were defeated by the Necrons, and the Necrons then went to have a long-ass power nap, they were freed from their servitude, and upon waking up, a number of them had their consciousnesses and identity restored to them. One such Necron was Traynz, who had commanded the Necron tomb world of Solomons. Now this tomb world wasn't particularly powerful. Traynz didn't control a dynasty or a huge army, but Solomons does house the greatest and most dangerous museum in the galaxy. See, old mate Traynz is a collector, and early on realised that the galaxy was just one life support system failure away from being consumed by war and darkness. Now where there is war, there is destruction. Destruction of priceless artifacts. Hence Traynz has been collecting every single thing of value he can get his hands on, so that when the galaxy inevitably collapses, there will be still a record of what was there. His collection is not just limited to items, he also collects various different aliens, including some incredibly high value ones, such as a Custodian or a Krork. To take it even further, he has collected moments. Sometimes he'll arrive at a famous battle, put a small section of it in stasis, then put that stasis battle in a small cube for storage, before then returning to his tomb world to display it. Now collecting extremely dangerous beings and literal fragments of battle sounds dangerous, and it is. Hence Traynz does most of this via proxy bodies or servants. Nobody values self-preservation like Traynz does, hence he will never truly put himself in harm's way. After all, if he dies, who will look after his collection? In his line of work, however, things go wrong all the time. Storing overpowered beings sometimes goes wrong, hence he has to improvise. In one of his Sisters of Battle exhibits, while the sisters are positioned to look like they know each other, the reality is they were born thousands of years apart. One of them still believing that George Van Dyer, that fuckstick, was still the leader of the Imperium. Hence it's not really authenticity that Traynz cares about, but more so just the overall aesthetic. He's not an elitist about it, he's just having a bit of fun. As I said earlier, Space Marines have a bad time against Traynz, unless they are the Salamanders. The Salamanders have a number of cool toys left behind by Vulcan. One of these is the Spear of Vulcan, something that Traynz wanted for his collection, hence he has attempted not once, but twice to kill the Forge Father of the Salamanders. Both times failed, with Traynz's proxy body being destroyed. The thing is, this isn't personal for Traynz. He doesn't hate the Salamanders, he just wants their magical stabby stick. On the flip side to that, Traynz wanted to collect some Tyranids as they are some seriously high level Pokemon. Hence, he ambushed a hive fleet and was able to freeze it in stasis and collect it. However, Tyranids don't like staying in their Pokeballs, so there were numerous breaches, and eventually Traynz had to give his exhibition the boot. Not a surprising result, but still a little sad. Traynz's role has been flipping from coincidental savior to a thief so potent he would make the Blood Angels blush, to a ruthless killer. However, he was finally forced to assume the mantle of anti-hero during Abaddon's 13th Black Crusade. See, when this crusade launched, it was to be the first ever successful one. Because of this, there was a bell in Traynz's collection that began to toll. This is not a very friendly bell, and so by the time it stopped ringing, large portions of Traynz's collections had been destroyed and his armies had been deactivated. He was very pissed off and he threw the bell in the bin being the Eldar Webway. Traynz was like, why the fuck did that bell ring? Hence he travelled to the galaxy to find answers. All answers pointed towards the fact that chaos was a serious problem and was about to make treasure hunting a lot more difficult. Hence Traynz ventured to Cadia to help the Imperial defenders there. He taught Call how to work the Necron pylons, and he protected Call while he worked. When the forces of chaos broke through and charged Call, Traynz released a chunk of his Imperial collection, made up of Heresy-era Marines, Dreadnoughts, Inquisitors, and even a Custodian, to hold back chaos. And it worked. The Necron pylon began to shrink the Eye of Terror and Chaos was losing. However, Abaddon is a bad sport, and flung his Blackstone fortress at the planet like a makeshift meteor, blowing the planet up. Traynz saw that he had done all he could and it was time to move on, lamenting about his role as a saviour. Although it seems like his efforts were a failure, because of him, Call and the other heroes of Cadia were able to escape, whilst Call gained valuable knowledge on the Necron pylons. Now that more or less brings us up to date with Traynz. He's a pretty new character to the setting, and he isn't front and center in the 40k narrative. However, just from the short appearances he has made, he is already a fan favourite and my personally favourite Necron. So the question you're all waiting for is, what is in Traynz's collection? Well, more or less everything, but we'll go over some of the coolest stuff that has been confirmed. He has sacred elder artworks made out of wraithbone. He has the preserved head of Sebastian Thor, the man who overthrew George Vandai and saved the galaxy. He has an enslaver, which is psychic parasites which destroyed the old ones and ruined the galaxy for quite a long time. He has numerous Catachan jungle fighters, cause they're awesome. He had a custodian before he flung it at Cadia. He has a Krork, which was the original form of the orcs created by the old ones. For context, a Krork was about the equivalent of an Imperial custodian, with some Krorks even being able to match a Primarch. He had Inquisitor Greyfax before he returned her to the Imperium. He has a bunch of tech priests and actually kidnapped them in a story from their own codex. He kidnapped/saved Lord Krieg, the final commander of Cadia. He originally wanted to take Abaddon instead, but Krieg is actually way cooler. And finally, he also has the perfect clone of Fulgrim, courteous of Fabius Bile. As Traynz pops up more and more in the lore, I'm sure it will be revealed that we also have a bunch of other crazy stuff, and his wish list is wild. If Dawn of War 4 ever gets made, all they need to do is make the campaign one big war between the Bloodravens and Traynz over who can steal more of the other guy's shit. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the Major Kill Necron remix of the Pokemon song that I am definitely not just randomly throwing in to reach the 10-minute mark of this video. Also, if this sounds terrible and nothing like the original Pokemon song, then that is deliberate in order to avoid copyright claims. I want to collect the very best, like no Necron ever has. To catch them is my real test, to taunt them is my cause. I will travel across the galaxy, searching far and wide. You really should understand the power that's inside. Kidnapping, gotta catch 'em all, it's you and me. No, it's my destiny, stealing other people's shit. Oh, you're my next gem. In a tomb world we must defend. Eternal imprisonment, gotta catch 'em all, true. Our courage will pull us through. You steal from me and I'll kill you. Traynz, gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Okay, listening back on the recording of that, I'm kind of starting to regret it because that is probably the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life. But if you listened to it with the Pokemon theme song playing alongside it, it makes it about 5% less cringy. But yeah, That does us for today, guys. The lore and story of Traynz the Infinite, as well as his cheeky collection. Remember guys, birthday stream tomorrow, be there or be square. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 will give you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai, including Necron hentai, so don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more collected content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.